Now we're going to choose 5 careers. These are the life path options that will help us determine our character's history, and it will help build our character into who they are today. It's a very interesting way of building a character, and I personally really enjoy it. So, in terms of our careers, if we're trying to be a judge, we sort of have to take a certain path. We do have a lot of branching paths we can take from that path, but we do have to have certain prerequisites when we're making a judge. There's a specific section in the book that gives you the judge careers. And as a judge, you have to make sure that you take certain origins. For the judge origins, you have to start out with a cadet, and then you need to take 2 Academy of Law advanced programs, and then you have to take a rookie, and from there you can choose whatever judge you want. So you have sort of these branching paths that narrow to a certain specific path that you have to take, and then it opens up again. And that's, again, choosing a judge. You kind of have to go through a certain process to become a judge. So we're going to start off with the cadet career. That's our origin career. And we're going to have 1 grade of that, and that's going to be for 13 years. The attributes we're going to add because of the career are strength +1, endurance +1, will +1, and logic +1. Next up, our skill choices are going to be clubs, conviction, intuition, law, light armor, perception, pistols, riding, and tactics. We choose 2 from each of those for the careers. I definitely want to take one in riding, and I'm contemplating either pistols or law. I think let's go with law. And now we take the exploit that's listed there, which is Academy of Law curriculum, or we can take a universal exploit. If we go with the Academy of Law curriculum, we're going to gain a rank in each of the following skills: law, pistols, riding, light armor, and clubs. That's pretty nice. And we're able to take law as a mental defense as well. So let's go ahead and add those as well. So now we've got law up to 2. We've got pistols up to 2. We've got riding up to 2. We've got our light armor and clubs. Next up, we have to choose 2 Academy of Law advanced programs. If we take a look at our options, we have Advanced Driving School, Applied Violence, that sounds wonderful, Basic Mechanics, Basic Psionics, Citizen Manipulation, Combat Range, Hot Dog Run, Trauma First Aid. So, going off of the fact that I want to have a sort of dark past, I think one of the ones that I definitely want to take is the Hot Dog Run, which will allow me and my character to have a patrol of the cursed earth, which I think can have some very interesting things happen. So I'm definitely going to take Hot Dog Run as one of them. The other one that I think I want to take is probably the Combat Range. I'd like to increase my combat abilities in general just from the kind of character that I'd like to make. So our first life path is going to be the Combat Range. I think our character wants to make sure that they are very skilled in combat before they head out into the cursed earth, for sure. And for that, we're going to add a year for the Combat Range career. And we're going to do attributes of intuition +1, agility +1, will +1, and luck +1. Our skill choices are going to be law, perception, pistols, rifles, and tactics. I think I'd like to get my pistols up to 3. That would be great. Let's get pistols. Let's get... Our other skill, maybe let's get perception, I think. And then we choose an exploit. We have 2 that are listed there, and again, we can exchange those for a universal exploit. Let's take a look. Perfect Aim. The bonus you gain for the aim exploit increases to +2d6. Good position. You cannot be pinned down in combat. This system lends itself towards having very good position in combat. You get a lot of good bonuses for having backup, for being in really good flanking position, and the enemies can do the same thing. So good position, I think, is going to be our exploit of choice here, as it will make sure that we cannot be pinned down in combat. I really like that. We're going to take the hot dog run career. That will also tack on another year to the age. And our attributes that are going to get increased are endurance +1, will +1, luck +1, and rep +1. Our skill choices are hardy, law, navigation, pistols, riding, survival, and tracking. I think we definitely want tracking, so I'm going to put that one down first. Hardy, law, navigations, pistols, riding. We've got pistols up to 3, which gives us an additional 2d6 for our dice pools to roll on, which is very nice. To get that up to a 3d6, we'd have to get to 6 skill on pistols, which isn't exactly super easy to get. There are a few things that can help us with that as we level up, but I think for now I'm not going to worry about that. So instead of pistols, we could get riding up to 3, which would give us a 2d6 in that. I like that idea. We do have riding on a bunch of the other careers that we're going to take, just looking ahead a little bit. So maybe I'm going to decide on taking survival here. I think survival is going to be very useful. So let's take survival instead. And that's it for our skills. Now our exploits, we've got a few different exploits that we can choose. Wasteland Direction, Cursed Earth Survivor, Less Rads, One Eye Open. Looking at those, I really like the One Eye Open choice. You learn to sleep with one eye open. When you are asleep, you gain the benefits of a full rest, but you are considered to be awake for all other purposes. That makes sneaking up on my character very difficult to do. I really like that. And being a game master myself, I know how appealing it is to throw ambushes onto characters when they're sleeping. So I'm going to take one eye open. Our next career is going to be Rookie, and that's going to be for another year. Our attribute bonuses here are going to be Intuition +1, Agility +1, Luck +1, and Rep +1. Our skill choices are Brawling, Interrogation, Intuition, Law, Perception, Pistols, Riding, and Running. I definitely want to take Running. That will help us with our speed, and it's very useful in general. So I'm definitely going to take Running. Our next choice, we can get Riding here. I think Riding is pretty good, so why don't we take that? And our exploits, Obey the Law, Ride Your Luck, Only Knocked Out, and Dodge This. We can take one of those, or we can take a universal exploit. Obey the Law, we can sort of order people around. Ride Your Luck, allow us to recharge our luck pool by spending 5 minutes resting. I can already tell you I absolutely love luck in this game, and I think it's a very powerful thing to have, and being able to recharge it again in once a day is excellent. Only Knocked Out gives us a sort of extra life. Having that extra quarter, having that continue, or get out of jail free is a very appealing skill to have. It does permanently go away, though, after it's used. So if we're about to die, we sort of power through it, and we use up that other quarter. Dodge This, Nimble, gives us a +2 to our range defense score. That's a good overall thing to have. It's really going to only help us in combat, but it's a nice defense modifier. Distinction, you passed your rookie assessment with Distinction. You gain +2 rep. Also good. I'm going to take Ride Your Luck, though. As I said, I'm a bit biased, and I think that the luck is just plain excellent in this game. Ride Your Luck. Okay. Next up, the judge careers. We've kind of already decided that we want to play as a street judge. That was kind of the role that I had in mind when I started making the character. Again, when you come into the character creation, you should at least have a vague idea. I like to always start with a vague idea as opposed to a very specific one, because if you approach the table and everybody else has a sort of very similar idea to you, maybe you want to change your idea a little bit, and maybe you think you want to just change up your role a little bit. It's okay to have the same class, the same kind of general character archetype, but it also helps to have a more varied table. So think about what you want to do, and I recommend personally having a bit of variety, but play what you think is going to be fun ultimately. So Street Judge is going to be our last career here, and that's going to be for 1d6 years. So let's roll for that. I rolled a 5. Okay, and our attributes are going to be Strength +1, Endurance +1, Intuition +1, and Rep +1. Our skill choices are Brawling, Climbing, Clubs, Conviction, Hardy, Interrogation, Jumping, Law, Local Knowledge, Pistols, Riding, Rifles, Running, and Tactics. So let's see if we can get anything to more dice immediately. Just mechanically, that gives us the strongest possible character. We can take Law at 3. We can take no other skills to help us get to 3, which would give us a 2d6. So let's put Law up to 3. That'll be 1 skill. Next, we can take maybe a new skill. I like Local Knowledge a lot. That helps us know general things in our area, maybe our patrol route. We might have some contacts there. It's a very good skill to have. I really like having Local Knowledge. And we've got a very wide breadth of combat-based skills now, so I think Local Knowledge is a good general one to have. Next up, exploits. We've got a ton of exploits here. Look at these in depth. Really feel out where you want to go with these exploits. A lot of really solid options. The Law, we can increase our Intimidate skill. Judge backup, we can get backup from other judges. That's really nice. Freeze, we can compel a target to freeze with a Charisma mental attack. Lawmaster Savant, our writing skill increases to 6 ranks. Fist of a Judge, you are trained in close quarter combat. Bouncer, you're used to dealing with drunkards. You gain checks versus intoxicated creatures. Trouble Sense, we can help our initiative. No collateral damage. Holding human shield is pointless when you're around. You will fire anyway. You suffer no penalties when firing into melee. That's excellent. Get on with it. Your fellow judges do not have much patience for whining about minor injuries. Could help us with our health recovery. I really like to take the aggressive approach, so I think that no collateral damage is the right one for me. Okay, we've got all our careers done. Next on the list, we select either the Aim or Feint free universal exploits, plus one other universal exploit of our choice for which I qualify. Okay, so the Aim or Feint. Since we're playing mostly a pretty wide variety judge character, we can decide on either of those and probably be okay. My guess is I'm going to be doing more ranged fighting, so the Aim exploit will allow me to, during my turn in combat, on my first action, I can take aim, and that will use one of my actions, and then on the following action, I will get a bonus 1d6 to roll, which is really helpful if you're trying to hit something that's very hard to hit, and in general, will probably make you succeed on your attack. Okay, so I'm going to take the aim exploit. I think I'll be using that a little bit more. Okay, so looking at our universal exploit options, I really like the Deadly Strike option. It's aggressive. It fits with the character. You inflict an additional 1d6 damage with a successful hit. For a ranged attack, this is likely a headshot. This can only gain you 1 bonus damage die. Very, very nice. I think we're going to go ahead and add Deadly Strike as our free universal exploit. Okay. Next up, we're going to choose one trait based on our highest or lowest attribute and note that in our descriptor. It will help us describe our character. So, taking a look at our attributes, our highest attributes are Endurance, Intuition, and Will. Our lowest attribute is charisma and rep. And let's see what our options are for our traits. With the traits, we can sort of increase the benefit of our attributes that are good, or we can sort of help out the attributes that are bad. So you can look at it like, do you want to sort of cover up some of your weakness, or do you want to make your strengths even stronger? It's really up to you. Because of the way that we're sort of making this character, I really like the idea of making it even more aggressive. I like to sort of pick a direction and go with it. So if we look at our options for endurance or intuition, we can go rugged, tough as nails, empathic or alert. We can go with our lowest attribute of charisma. That would be unwashed, disfigured, or obnoxious. Any of those actually sound pretty funny in terms of role-playing, but we're going to roll and see what we get. I think what I'm going to do is try and go with an endurance-based exploit. So let's roll and see what we get for an endurance one. We got a 2, so that's going to be rugged. Rugged. Let's take a look at rugged. You are tough and shrug off hardships. Once per day, you can spend 2 actions to recover to half your normal maximum health. That's pretty nice. Let's add that in right now. Okay, and now let's change our descriptor. An adult, rugged, medium clone street judge who has a dark secret. Okay,